The rich will never accept you, but they can take your food and make it theirs. Many of the dishes we know today as luxurious meals were once poor people food. Let's discuss the process in which survival food loses its context and becomes rebranded as luxury. I grew up in a farmhouse, and every weekend we would go into the farm to pick up hundreds of snails. They were so plentiful that we let the villagers and our neighbors pick them for free. Snails represented an abundant low-barrier source of protein. Cooking and eating them wasn't a culinary discovery, but a practical engagement with our immediate environment. But look at the prices of snails today. They have been discovered. Sourdough was once the only option for people who couldn't afford brewer's yeast. It was survival food. Look at lobster in the 1800s. People who lived on the coast regarded lobsters as the cockroaches of the sea. It was so plentiful and so hated, it was used as fertilizer for crops and food for prisoners. There's a famous legend that indentured servants in Massachusetts had it in their contract that they couldn't be served lobster more than 3 times a week because that was seen as punishment. Lobsters only became a luxury when the railroads served it to inlanders who did not know their reputation. Or look at caviar. In the 19th century, it was a salty snack given away for free in Russian bars just to get people thirsty enough to order more vodka and beer. So how does the price jump come about? After years of eating refined and fancy food, the wealthy might start looking for something with more soul. Sometimes they find it in the kitchens of the poor and discover that the techniques regular people used because they had to, like slow cooking tough pieces of oxtail for 6 hours or fermenting sourdough with wild yeast, could actually have depth and complexity in flavor. Richard Peterson called this being the cultural omnivore. In the old days, rich people only liked classy things. Today, they prove they are cultured by knowing the best of both worlds. And by applying high status techniques to low status ingredients, the elite perform a form of cultural arbitrage, buying low on authenticity and selling high on refinement. This is the gentrification of the palate, a term explored by sociologists like Sharon Zukin. As the ingredients moves from the backyard to the upscale restaurant, the local supply chain shifts to meet the higher price point, and then the grandmother who mastered the recipe out of necessity is eventually excluded from her own tradition by the market forces who celebrated it. The history is co-opted, the survival is commodified, and the price of entry is raised until the originators are left with neither the food nor the credits. The cycle of gentrification is complete. If you'd like to see more of my explorations into food and culture, please follow along and let me know in the comments. What's one food that was once cheap but is now expensive in the area where you live?